Hi, it's Allie with Seattle Coffee Gear, and today we are doing a comparison video of a couple of our most popular semi-automatic machines. The ones you see here are some that we get asked most frequently about. They have a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences, different price points as well. So good news is these are all Italian-made machines, so they're all going to be kind of inspired from that Italy Italian espresso experience. But they do have different features. So this is the Rancilio Silvia. It is a single boiler machine. Essentially what that means is that you're going to have to do something called temperature surfing. So going from hot to cold, you have to have a hotter temperature for steaming your milk and a colder temperature for brewing your coffee. Don't want to burn your coffee. So this guy basically, one of the benefits is that it's really simple, easy to work on. Has a nice stainless steel casing. They last forever, so that's a really good sign. A couple of the downsides would be like it has a small drip tray, but it does have a small overall footprint, and it can be a little frustrating in the morning whenever you're going to make your drink and you have to wait in that temperature surfing and your drinks won't be as consistent. The next one on my list is the Simonelli Oscar 2. They had an Oscar 1, the first version. This is the second iteration. So they basically have taken the machine. They have, it is a single boiler, but it's a heat exchanger. Essentially what that means is you have one boiler who is heating up that heating up that water that's going to be what you use for steam. And then it has a special little copper tubing that runs to your espresso. So that's going to be kind of give it some time to cool down before it gets to that espresso, before it hits that coffee, so it's going to be a little bit more consistent. Benefits of a heat exchanger are that you can brew and steam at the same time. You just need to purge the group head a little bit to make sure that it's at the correct temperature and not too hot. So benefits of this one would be that it is a heat exchanger. Simonelli in particular, their steam power is really, really fast. It's going to have a 4-hole steam tip, and the water inside here is pretty hot, so it's going to be pretty quick steam. So if you do a lot of steaming, or you like the Simonelli products, you definitely have that. I say one of the downsides is that it does have a little bit more plastic on this one, and the casing isn't full metal. It's like a thin layered metal, and no hot water. So there's no way to do hot water on this machine. You'd have to do it separately. The Apartamento from Rocket. So basically you step up into kind of a different style of entry-level machine. It's still a heat exchanger. So you have that boiler that's heating up that water, special tube running to the coffee, where this is actually an E61 group head. So it's running through there, keeping it at the right temperature. This one does have a hot water tap. It's still going to have a pretty powerful steam, even though it's a 2-hole steam. Essentially what you get on this one, obviously a little bit different casing. This is full metal casing. It's going to be basically just a little bit overall more, think hand-built, think, Italian, think specialty. So essentially you get a little bit more features that way, but all going to work, all going to make you great coffee. Basically you just have to pick which one's right for you. Different price points as well. So yeah. What else can I say about these guys? They all actually, funny enough, they all make commercial equipment as well. So they basically, most of them started out in the commercial world, like Rancilio Silvia and the Simonelli, they started out commercially. Rocket actually started out in the home. So they started with their home line and then they went into commercial. So kind of an interesting thing that they have markets for both. So I think the next thing to do on the list is we're going to make drinks on these and show you how they work, show you the features in action, so you can see and make the choice for which one's right for you. We'll be right back. Okay, so first we're going to start with the Silvia here. It's a little bit interesting since it is a single boiler. What we need to do first is kind of, you can pull your shot first if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and start with steam. So I'm going to flick this switch on, and then the non-PID version, which is what I have here, this light will actually blink and tell you whenever it's ready to use. It's heated up for steam. But on the PID version, you can actually see the temperature and what it's at. It'll actually start creating steam around like 260-ish on up. So we're just going to wait here patiently for that and then start steaming. While I'm waiting for that, I can probably prep my coffee. Perfect. So that is all ready to go. We're using a Black Cat coffee today. So basically it's kind of like a medium bodied. It's from Intelligentsia. It's got like a nice little kick to it. It's really good in a latte, but not really overpowering or anything like that. With our special heated grinder from Eureka. Pretty cool little setup here. It will pair nicely with any of these grinders. And we wait. A few more seconds. So it might want to keep heating up, but it's already kind of creating steam. So I'm going to go ahead and steam my milk here so I'm not boring you. So it is pretty powerful. All right. Whoops, wrong way. We'll flip that off. Gail actually has a pretty good trick. Like whenever you're starting to get done with your steam, you can go ahead and flip that off and it'll start to cool down while you're finishing steaming. So that kind of helps whenever you're trying to get towards the coffee brewing part. Wipe that off a little bit there. And then I'm going to go ahead and release some of that water here. Open that up, let it cool down. Perfect. So I think we're good. Go ahead and lock it in. Looks pretty good. So I'd say a downside is obviously you have to temperature serve, which isn't ideal if you're wanting to get a replicable espresso every time. But it's not too bad. Woo. And you can do hot water with this one through that the steam there. Let's see what kind of picture I can make with this. Little something. Cool. So I did give this one a little bit more foam. That's okay. Probably tastes great. But yeah, that is the Silvia. All right, so we're gonna do the Oscar too. I'm gonna do a little bit of flushing there. Perfect. right, so this is actually an auto volumetric, so that means it's already got the pre-programmed amount of water that it's going to dispense, and it'll stop automatically. So you can program these yourself, so this is a nice feature that the other two don't have. So you'll get a nice, sorry, I forgot to lock it in all the way. A nice shot without much effort. This one does have a lot of steaming power. It's going to be pretty fast. Doesn't take much. It's pretty good milk. It's been a while since I've used this machine, but whenever I was a barista, I worked on one of their commercial ones. Looks good. Nice. Oops. Perfect. So you get the idea. It's pretty fast at steam, auto volumetric, heat exchanger. That's the Oscar. Okay, so we have ground our coffee and gonna tamp. I'm not as technical as John. Perfect. Lock it into place. This one does have like a pre-infusion of sorts. If you just barely tilt it, the water starts to flow. But when you tilt it all the way up, you can actually apply full pressure. Cool. Just got my cup here. Let's see what we got. A little something. And a little for the floor. Perfect. So what I do enjoy about this one, I overfilled my cup. What I do enjoy about this one is the responsiveness, and I think it works a lot like some of the more commercial machines that I've worked on previously. The E61 group head is kind of a satisfying thing to work on. I like the ability to see what's going on with your espresso. So their whole lineup, they do have some more features as you go up, but this is their entry level. So essentially works really well. I enjoy making coffee from it. It makes delicious espresso and some pretty nice cappuccinos and sorts. So yeah, that is the Rocket. So you've seen all three of these machines and their features and what drinks they can make. So essentially it's just down to choosing which one fits for you. Things to keep in mind are maintenance, size, style, your preference, all of those things. We would be happy to answer any questions you have about the comparison of these. You can list those in the comments below or give us a call. If you like this video, we'd appreciate if you hit that button and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the other fun content that we produce. And we'll see you next time.